What's up, Infected? It's Wolf at the Quarantine, and today we're going to be taking a look at a game called Splat from Jazzwings. Now, Splat plays between 3 to 8 players, recommended ages 5 and up, and it plays within about 15 to 30 minutes, give or take. Now, what is Splat? Well, Splat, back when I was in middle school, I think, is when it got real big, and then we played it throughout high school. Some of you guys may remember a game, and I don't know if this is the actual name, this is what we called it, called Egyptian Rat Screw, where I don't even remember most of the rules, but you played with a normal deck of cards, and everybody threw these cards out, and it was like the last person to slap, or the first person to slap got all the cards or something like that. And the goal was to have all of the cards at the end of the game. And you're slapping, throwing your hand down in the pile, trying to slap all these cards. It's good, fun game. You have the back of your hand red by the end of the game. This is basically the same game, but it's reverse Egyptian Rat Screw. And you want to be the first person to lose all of your cards and the last person that slaps, so you don't have to be the fastest, you just can't be the slowest. And the last person that slaps takes all of the cards. But then there's a twist, there's some special cards in here. So let's just go straight over to the overview, shall we? Alright, before we get started, I do have to state, as usual, this is a review, it is not a tutorial, so I actually won't be covering most of the rules throughout this, but I will be giving you a good idea of how the game is played, so you can determine whether or not the game is for you. Alright, to start a game of Splat, you're going to deal out this big deck of cards evenly to each player, and then the game is very simple. All you're going to do is each player is going to throw out a card like this, and then this player will do it, and this player will do it, and so on and so forth. And that's all the game is, really. However, there's a couple special things. You have several special cards that, depending on when you slap, everybody's going to be coming in and slapping, so I recommend taking off any big rings you have. But you're going to slap this deck. So if you have 2 cards that are identical, like this, you slap, last person to slap takes all these cards. But then you have special cards, like the chef here. He does special things, so if you slap this during, if you're the last person to slap when he comes out, you get these cards. You have special other cards like the no card. If you're the first to slap, so it's a little different, you got to be fast with these, you get this. So if at any time you were to take the cards, you can send it back and go nope, and then you keep playing. But then there's other special cards, like you have the broken eggs, and you have the trickster, and of course where you normally slap, and then you have the dare, which I'll get to this one later. And so you have special rules with different ones that you slap, and it's a good, fun, quick little game. But you're going to keep doing that, going around in circles, and okay, everybody slaps, they take these cards, so you have all these, and you're going to keep, go around in circles, and everybody's put a new card out. And when you put your last card out, you have to slap both your hands on the table, and just yell slap that, and you win the game. That is basically how you play Splat. So let's just go to my final thought, shall we? Alright, Splat. Well, just kind of right out of the gates, the game is a good, fun little game. We've played it numerous times, and the correlation to Egyptian Rat Screw and Slapjack, for that matter, we're all there. The game is really fun. It's very simple, great game, great fun game to play with kids of pretty much all ages. The 5+, I'd say, is about accurate. The hardest part is remembering, okay, who do you slap on? Okay, this is the trickster, this is that. There's a couple special ones that some younger children would have to kind of remember. So you have the egg where you have to slap your head instead of the table, and the last person slap their head. And a lot of the cards look very similar. So you have people slap, and then they have to take all the cards because they mis-slapped. And so it's got good fun. It's not a great game, but it is a hysterically funny game. However, it does have a few issues, and actually not a whole lot, because of how simple the game is. Now, if you still play, or if you used to when you were younger, you used to play Egyptian Rat Screw, this game is almost the exact opposite of Egyptian Rat Screw. So it took us a little while to kind of get into, several games actually, to get into the swing of, okay, it's the opposite of what we used to play. So it's not that big of a deal, but the problem that we had with the game is actually these cards. These honestly break the flow of the game. They're meant to be, I get why they're in here, they're meant to be silly and blah blah blah, and it's like when this comes out, it's like the first person to slap gets to dare somebody. the last person to slap gets to dare somebody, and if they chicken out, then they have to take the whole pile. And honestly, it's kind of stupid. I don't know, we found it really, really, really dumb. We removed all these, and the game was really fun. We had a blast with it. Like, we first played it, and then, you know, you depending on your group, it's either going to get real adult real fast, or if you're playing with kids, you're doing really dumb things, and it just, I get why they're there. It just kind of breaks the flow and fast pace and silliness of the game to go, I dare you to lick my forearm or something stupid. It feels out of place and feels kind of dumb. But if you remove these, the game is fantastic. We actually thoroughly enjoyed the game, and outside of these, there wasn't really a single negative thing said about the game. It's a good, fun game. We really enjoyed it. So that is my review for Splat That. Definitely pick it up. Anyways, if you like my channel, I do have a Patreon. Right up here. Any little support definitely helps, and I do definitely appreciate it. I do have my Twitch and my Twitter down in the doobly-doo. If you leave a comment, I read all of those. If you give the video a like, definitely appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in the quarantine.